My wife, Samantha, spoke so softly it was barely audible, her face turning a deep shade of red. Seeing her so bashful took me by surprise. I found myself utterly captivated by her. But our relationship wasn't always like this. My name is Jack Andrews. I'm just an ordinary guy working for a medical device company. I once had big dreams and pursued them with all my might. But eventually I had to give up, realizing I lacked the talent. My parents had high hopes for me and always encouraged me to follow my own path, which led me to where I am now. Without dreams or ambitions, I felt empty, like I had no purpose. Some might say I should get married and start a family, but I'm still a bachelor with no girlfriend. It pains me that I can't give my mother the joy of grandchildren. But I have no choice. I can't give them what I don't have. Next week, I need to visit my parents. They live in the same state, just a short train ride away. They called me in a serious tone, saying they had important matters to discuss. Knowing my laid-back parents rarely asked me to come home, I sensed something significant had happened. I decided to comply with whatever favor they might ask, wanting to be a good son in other ways since I couldn't provide grandchildren. The day arrived and I returned to my childhood home after a long time. My parents run a diner with a shop on the first floor and their home on the second. As a child, I used to boast about taking over the shop, but I lacked the talent for cooking and gave up on that dream, making me hesitant to return home. However, it was strange to see the shop sign not out. They should be open every day except Thursday, where they closed just for today. I walked in, calling out, "I'm home, Dad." "Mom, I'm back." Both of them were there, looking thinner and paler than I remembered. "What happened to you two?" I asked, hurrying to their side. They explained, heads bowed. A family restaurant had opened nearby, causing their diner to lose customers. Despite their best efforts, the customers only dwindled. Dad discovered that anonymous rumors were spreading about our diner being dirty and infested with cockroaches, tarnishing our reputation. Despite their efforts to dispel these rumors, business continued to decline, leading to debt and eventually making it impossible to keep the diner open. Even if we close the diner, the debt remains. Worst case, we might have to sell our home, Dad said, tears of frustration in his eyes, his voice shaking. I had never seen him like this. "Can't something be done, at least about the debt?" I asked. "The debt is $80,000. We're looking for a place to get a loan," Dad replied, hanging his head in defeat. He must have exhausted all his options. Desperately, he confessed the situation to me. In desperation, I turned to my mom. "Mom, can't you ask for help from your friends?" "Well, I did talk to them," she replied. "Actually, one of my friends mentioned she might be able to help. But there's a condition." I leaned in, eager to hear more. Regardless of the condition, it was worth listening if help was on the table. Yet Mom kept her head down, hesitant to elaborate. Encouraged by Dad, Mom finally broke her silence. The condition: she proposed marriage to her daughter. "What?" I exclaimed. "You know, I used to go to that flower arrangement class, right? That's where I met her. Her husband is a CEO of a leading company, and their daughter apparently doesn't have anyone she's seeing. According to Mom, this daughter, Samantha, is shy and hasn't been able to find a partner, even though she wants to get married. This friend of mine seems to be very family-oriented and said she would be willing to help us out if you marry Samantha and become part of their family. But Jack has the right to choose his own partner. I don't want to deprive him of his future because of our debts," Dad protested. "No, I'll take the deal," I said, making my decision. I couldn't take over the family business, and I couldn't protect this place that had always been precious to me since I was born. So if getting married is what it takes to save the business, I'll do it. After all, she's a CEO's daughter. It's a rare opportunity for an ordinary guy like me to have a connection with someone like that. There was a part of me that thought it was a lucky break, a chance to help the business and maybe gain a partner and some connections. There weren't any downsides for me, so I decided to go ahead with it. But the day I met Samantha, I understood why she hadn't found a husband. She must be shy indeed. Her gaze occasionally wandered away, unable to look directly at me. On the other hand, I couldn't take my eyes off her. To be more accurate, I couldn't take my eyes off her figure. Her double chin was so prominent it looked like she didn't have a neck. She lacked a waistline, no curves, just a cylindrical shape. If I were to compare her shape to something, it would be to a certain blue, round-shaped robot from the future. I don't like to criticize people's appearances, but I have to admit she made a strong impression. If you asked me if I wanted to marry her, I'd say no without hesitation. But I wasn't in a position to say that right now. Nice to meet you, I'm Samantha. I'm Jack. Pleasure to meet you. Samantha shyly responded and made her greeting. I nodded in response, and after some discussion, we officially became engaged. A month later, we got married and officially became a couple. There was some discussion about living together, but marriage was a non-negotiable condition for repaying the debt. I had no reason to refuse. Perhaps understanding the situation, Samantha suggested that we don't force ourselves to live like a typical married couple but come together in our own way. So we ended up sharing a bedroom but not a bed. The so-called wedding night has not yet taken place. With Samantha's physique, sharing a bed would honestly be a squeeze. We were both used to living alone, so it was a bit awkward at first, but it seemed that Samantha had always aspired to be a typical wife. Good morning. I tried making breakfast. If you like, please have some, she said just before I left for work. Samantha, who had gotten up early, had prepared breakfast. Chicken soup, fish, and omelette. A hearty meal. The aroma of the food tickled my nostrils, stimulating my empty stomach. This is delicious. Even though I quit, I once aspired to be a chef. I have a discerning palate for food, so I can say with confidence Samantha's soup is truly delicious. And it's not just the soup. The seasoning of the fish is just right, and the omelette, its color, shape, and taste, are all perfect. The quality is as good as any restaurant. This is amazing. It must have been tough to make breakfast of this level, right? It's delicious, I said, engrossed in my breakfast. Samantha's face gradually turned red. I'm glad, I said, feeling a swell of pride. Be confident. I'm a diner's owner's son after all. Samantha, you're a great cook. With that, I finished my meal, not hiding my genuine opinion. Samantha shyly hid her face behind the tray she was holding. Well, I've never served my homemade food to anyone before. I'm happy though. She appeared extremely shy, and seeing Samantha genuinely happy was adorable. They say don't judge a book by its cover, and that might be true. Samantha, aside from her looks, has a very playful and adorable personality. She's so domestic that you forget she's a CEO's daughter, and she almost flawlessly manages household chores. Except, it seems that she's not very good at doing laundry. The other day she ended up turning all my shirts blue. She seems to still be getting used to sorting by colors. I'm sorry. They've turned completely blue, haven't they? I've made that mistake before too, I said, trying to comfort her. A mistake that would depress me if I had made it somehow becomes forgivable when Samantha does it. I slowly fell in love with Samantha. At first, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But by the time we had been living together for 6 months, I knew. One day, Samantha came home crying. What am I going to do? The doctor said I might not be able to have a baby one day. I can guess why. I don't necessarily expect us to have children, so don't cry so much, I tried to console her. But with my current figure, you won't be able to hold me, Jack, she said, choking up. Emotionally, I am perfectly able to love Samantha. But it's pretty tough with her 200-pound figure. While I was struggling for words, Samantha seemed to make up her mind, looking at me determinedly. I've decided I'm going on a diet. I want to live a long life, and I want children. Also, I want to walk proudly by your side, Jack. I can't stop Samantha when she says this while blushing. Samantha made up her mind, and thus she began her diet. Exercise is good for health, so I also joined her in the effort. I was just starting to worry about my waistline. I suppose I've put on some happy weight. It can't be helped. Samantha's cooking is too delicious. We went jogging together before work and walking every night. But as expected, it's not easy to keep up. I can't do it anymore, Samantha whined. I won't spoil you, I said firmly. This was a promise between me and Samantha. If she felt like giving up, I would be there to support her. So when Samantha looked ready to give up, I proposed something. Hey Samantha, I have a suggestion. What is it? How about we buy a dress? Here's my idea. I will buy the dress that you want to wear the most right now, and you will work hard on your diet so that you can wear that dress. It's easier for people to have a goal in front of them. That might be a great idea. I've never worn a dress before, Samantha said, getting on board with the idea. Additionally, we decided to separate our bedrooms. This was because Samantha wanted to do stretches and yoga at night. If I'm being watched, it's embarrassing, she said, When she makes a request like that, who am I to refuse? And so Samantha continued to put forth great effort. Half a year later, by the time we had been married for a year, Samantha had become astonishingly beautiful. I hadn't realized it because she was overweight, but she originally had a good figure. With her chest and butt standing out and her waist slimmed down, Samantha, now with a great figure, looked like a different person. Her weight dropped to the goal weight of 117 pounds, and Samantha came running to me beaming with joy. "Jack, I'm going to try on that dress today." "Really?" "I'm going to change in the bedroom. Wait for me here," Samantha said, heading to her bedroom. Come to think of it, for the past year, we hadn't slept in the same bed, had we? With the way Samantha is now, we could probably share a bed. In fact, isn't this the first time I've been allowed into her bedroom since she lost weight? Thinking like that, it felt almost like our wedding night. After all, Samantha had always strictly kept me out of her bedroom. "It's your first time in my room, isn't it?" she teased. "Hey, I'm looking forward to our first night." My heart skipped a beat, wondering for a moment if I'd accidentally voiced my thoughts. As if she had read my mind, Samantha laughed. "I'll be changed in a moment," she said, and shut the bedroom door. After a year together, we were comfortable enough to joke around like that, but her shyness hadn't changed. Just before she shut the door, I caught a glimpse of her blushing ears. After a little while, she called out, "I put it on. Come in." Upon Samantha's invitation, I entered the bedroom. This is my first time wearing a dress. How do I look? There stood Samantha, blushing yet gracefully wearing the red dress I'd bought. She looked stunning, her beauty resembling that of a goddess, leaving me speechless. "This is incredible. You look stunning," I finally managed to say. Samantha was that beautiful, enchanting, and alluring. Yet despite her appeal, she was blushing and fidgeting adorably. "Do I look weird?" she asked. "Not at all. You're beyond beautiful." "Really? Truly?" "Yeah, I'd rather not have you walk around outside like that, though." Upon hearing that, Samantha chuckled happily. "Oh, stop it, but I'm flattered. I'm just telling the truth. I mean, what if some strange guy comes over?" I muttered, a hint of anxiety in my voice. Samantha, in all her beauty, smiled. "In that case, you'll protect me, won't you?" Her blush was so very Samantha-like, and I chuckled in response. I resolved in my heart to protect Samantha at all costs and gently closed the bedroom door. From then on, time continued to pass. Welcome. Believe it or not, I took over my dad's restaurant. Quitting my job and paying off the debt was one thing, but it was no easy task to bring a reputation-damaged restaurant back to life. But now we transformed into a popular restaurant with lines from the morning. "Jack, take this to table 5. "Got it." "Samantha, how's the meal for table 8? "It's almost ready." Yes, it's Samantha in the kitchen now. When I explained the situation of the restaurant, Samantha said she wanted someone to try her cooking given the lack of popularity. "Jack, you praise my cooking, right?" That gave me confidence. To be honest, I was convinced that if Samantha cooked for the restaurant, it would surely succeed. That's how much I trust Samantha's cooking skills. She's always loved cooking. She even admitted to gaining weight from eating too much of her own cooking. That's actually an ideal skill for running a diner. Even though the customer traffic had dwindled, it wasn't zero. I pleaded with our regulars to try Samantha's cooking. Her culinary skills were soon recognized and customers started to return. In fact, some people even come in daily to eat. I help out in the kitchen, but primarily I handle the management and front of house work. Creating a place where Samantha can fully utilize her talents, that's my job. I'm home. The restaurant door creaked open around the evening. It was still early for dinner, so there weren't many customers. Into this quiet scene entered a boy carrying a backpack. "Welcome back, Jake." "Dad, I'm hungry." "Ask your mom to make something." "Yes." The elementary school boy who just walked in is Jake, our son. Actually, after Samantha's successful diet, she got pregnant and gave birth to a healthy baby boy. "Mom, can you make something?" "Oh, you really ate a lot, didn't you?" "Just wait a bit." Our son, nagging for food because he's hungry, calls out to the kitchen. Watching the scene, I can't help but smile. Right now, I'm happy. I have my loving wife, my adorable son, and I get to live with them both in the restaurant I've always wanted to protect. Samantha and I, it's crude to say, but we married because of the debt. It's probably not what you'd call a good match, but I can say this from the bottom of my heart. I'm glad I married you. How did you find that?